Money is the root of all evil. Men should be the breadwinners. And you shouldn't rent. You're paying someone else's mortgage. These are all money stories that have a tremendous ripple into our financial lives. It's July, and today I want to take a couple minutes to remind you about your money stories and how important they are to critically assess, analyze, and potentially to change. You might have to get out of your own way. Your money stories might really be holding you back. Here's something I've learned over several years of entrepreneurship. In each phase, my money relationship, my mindset, and my money stories kept me where I was. The thing that created growth was letting go of them. Our money stories come from our parents, they come from our environment, they come from our 5 closest friends, and they tend to linger for as long as they go unnoticed. If you haven't paid attention to them, now might be a good time. This month, we've got a great tool for you. It's a very simple exercise called Your Money Stories. And money stories have not a lot of work underneath them to be changed. They just require you to take a little bit of time. So you'll see that tool in the newsletter email. You can download it and you can get started right away. But let's think about, for a moment, before you get to that, what it takes to start to pay attention. When we make a money choice, our beliefs go into action. So we might say, no, that's too expensive. And even if we say something like that, we've essentially masked the belief. We've just said something is expensive. Well, expensive is all relative. Expensive is a made-up word, just like cheap or I can't afford that. This set of language will indicate to you that something doesn't have the value for the price. That's certainly true. But expensive and cheap are all relative. If I hold up a t-shirt for $25 and one that's $50, the $25 one is cheap and the $50 one is expensive. But if I hold up one that's $3,000, well, which one's cheap and which one's expensive now? It's all relative. Our money stories, though, especially ones like money is the root of all evil, change the way that we see money, change the way that we see opportunity, and change the way that we feel about our financial future. What creates stability and what creates joy with our financial growth is different for everybody. And I don't want to project that you have to have a certain belief. What is important, though, is that you've chosen whatever you want to believe. You've done the work to assess what you know, assess what you've been told, and critically assess it. When I was young, the idea of money is the root of all evil certainly was loud. And getting into a nonprofit first as a business owner was a really interesting journey because I got to see the nonprofit world where in many cases, smaller nonprofits, good people that want to make a dent and want to make a difference, were really struggling because they held these beliefs that money was bad and more profit, more growth, more expansion, more customers was a negative thing. What we're asking you to do in this exercise is to write out an expense that you make and then to write out what you believe about that purchase, why you bought it. So you might say, okay, I bought this shirt because I believe that having quality shirts that fit well and feel good make me look good. They make me attractive. Okay, perfect. So we know now that spending money on your appearance makes you feel more attractive. You don't need to change that. You just need to be aware of that. Now you can conquer your own money journey a bit more effectively. You might say, well, I don't really want to spend a lot on a car, and I don't take care of my car because it's not valuable. It's not going to last very long, or it's already in bad shape. Okay. So when you go to make some kind of financial purchase related to the car, you might feel resentful. And in that moment, you can learn a lot about yourself. That box that you created might be the box that needs to change for you to get where you're going. I think in many ways, money is just energy. It's just a transfer of energy. And whether I hire someone to wash the car, or I go to a doctor, or I fly on a plane, I'm just transferring energy around in order to get more of what I want. It's a trade. And when you have a healthy relationship with money, when you write out the expense and what it is that you believe, it makes sense. It'll be linear. I believe that when I invest in myself with good food and education, I become a better entrepreneur. My health stays prime and I can give more to everyone around me and I can set healthy boundaries. Okay, cool. So if I take care of myself and invest in me, I can do better. That's a great linear belief, right? It makes sense. But sometimes we have strange beliefs and those sequences aren't linear. And this month, I want you to take some time to figure out, and just to question, are your money stories linear? Are they actually taking you where you want to go? My money beliefs have changed many times, so many times that it's hard to imagine who I was even 10 years ago when it came to my relationship with money. And we're now halfway through the year. So you can take this amazing, simple exercise and make your back half of the year much, much better just by auditing, just by listening and writing out what's your expense and then what do you believe. So you bought a pair of shoes. Okay, does that make you feel sexy? Great, fine. Acknowledge it, understand it. Maybe you need to buy a new laptop. Maybe you don't need to buy a new laptop, but you decide to. So the expense would be, I bought a laptop because I believe it will make me more productive. I'll be more excited to work. I'll get more done. Okay, is that linear? Probably not. The laptop's not going to make you work harder. The laptop's not going to get you excited about your work if you don't already care about it. We have to know these things. We have to understand these things. The more you can do to analyze and assess your mindset when it comes to money, the better off you'll be. We have a story here about Walt Disney. Walt Disney, obviously now very successful. That company has grown. It's a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company. But it started with an idea, and his relationship with money changed thanks to his brother. So if you want to read a great story, it's here in this newsletter. It's also something that you can dig into online. Money stories are important for your growth. And we've got a back half of the year with a lot of really exciting things for you. We've got community calls. We've got retreats coming up. If you have been stuck, stagnant, overwhelmed, and overloaded, but aren't making progress, it's time to make some change and get out of your own way. Book a discovery call. Let us help you. We can talk to you about all the different options that we have, or we can just support you in that moment. Book a discovery call today. We'll see you next month.